Stars and Stripes RC here again with the Freewing ME 262. I got this thing together. There's a few things I think could have been better as far as Freewing goes. I did get a coat of men wax on it, and it helps give it a little bit of sheen, which is going to be nice to have in the air. Before, this was a pretty flat olive drab, but that matte finish men wax kind of brings out the color better. It just looks better to me. But anyway, on the battery, I checked. I have a 6-cell 5200 at that point. I'd say a little less than an inch from the front of the nose there. And it did CG by the book. By the way, there was a manual in the box I didn't see, but anyway, it said 100 to 110 millimeters, which CG at between 100 and 110 millimeters. It should be good right there. It's a little on the nose heavy side, but that's the way I fly, especially on a maiden, just to get that first flight in, and then I can always adjust the battery back depending on how much trim I have to put on the elevator. So we'll see once I fly it. It's been kind of crappy weather here in Albuquerque. It doesn't look like it's going to clear up anytime soon over the next 3 or 4 days either. So the maiden video will be coming, but it'll be a while. One thing I noticed putting it together, putting the elevator halves in, I don't know if you can see over here, I had to trim this area in the same area on the bottom back a little bit because it wasn't getting the throw that I thought it should get. It could be better, but that's a lot more than it was giving me. That space on the foam there was just so tight to that elevator where it joins in the middle that it was probably only getting about that much. Get a close up on that. It was probably only getting about that much throw versus that much. So, and that's 100%. I'll tame that down. I haven't set up my DR and Expo on this yet. The wiring was kind of awkward. It was basically when I put the wiring in, I was holding my breath that everything would work right the first time, but it did. But then again, there's some good videos out there on the assembly of this thing. So if you have any doubts, if you do get the plane, just refer to those videos. They're pretty good. One of the things that, again, I didn't care for, and you'll have to come around this side, is the fact that these are not ball links. Now, I could change those out. Also, the split flaps. Split flaps are almost always never flush 100%. I adjusted them out as much as I could, but not a huge fan of split flaps. But I can. And another thing is, if you look from back here and watch the flaps, because they're sectional, you got your flap on this side and a flap on this side, and when you deploy the flaps, you can see that the inboard flaps doesn't come down as much as the outboard flaps. So once I deploy the full flaps, you'll see even the same. See, so these go down a lot less than the main flaps here. And I've never had this plane before, so I don't know if that's normal, if that's the way it's supposed to be. There's not much adjustment you can do on these here. Those control rods are so short. So I'm gonna go with it and then get it up high once I fly it, put the flaps down and see what happens. Another thing about that is I was not able to see a way of slowing down the flaps to make it look more scale. Normally there's a flap setting in there once you bind it, but I'm not seeing that. I'll have to look a little further in on that. But I did see a video where a guy, I guess he had a bad landing and this front piece broke off at this point here. And what he did, he had a video out there, I saw it, where he went in and put some ply back in here across about that much inside here in that cavity, so that next time maybe it won't be so apt to break so easily. Tricycle gear landing gear planes are, in my opinion, really simple to fly or to land. You know, you just got to get that flare, let it sit on the mains, and then let the nose gear come down. Now, I have had an EDF, and it's mostly in the Vipers, where you know, if you don't land just right, you get that bounce. And I don't know, it seems like Vipers are the only ones that I've had that ever did that. But again, hopefully this thing will fly just as good as the T-33. That plane is such a nice plane that I'm hoping it will. But again, we'll get a video on the flight just as soon as I can get out and get some good weather here. Other than that, I mean, it's nice. The quality is good. Definitely not a beginner jet, but we'll see what happens whenever I get the flight video on this. I'm really liking it from being on the table here, but we'll see how it flies. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stars and Stripes signing off.